Welcome to Exploring the Coves, a video series where we discuss the many facets of our estate that make it such a wonderful place to live.
My name is Michelle Goodrum. I'm part of the Coves community for radio-controlled model aeroplanes. I fly mostly gliders, as does my husband. My father-in-law Rodney, he's very much involved in helping the kids learn to build and fly aeroplanes. My daughter also flies a little bit. She's starting to learn to fly. And basically we just try and get a lot of the kids involved into flying. When we arrived here, I think we arrived here about 8 years ago, there was already a group of people who were flying, and I think probably because we're more involved in the official organization of radio-controlled gliding, we've kind of tried to formalize it a little bit, but it's always been running here. We have quite a lot of different people who fly various things. There's also a group of people who fly FPV, which is first-person view, where you use the radio, but you also have goggles that you put on and it looks like you're actually sitting inside the aeroplane when you fly. And then we have some people who also fly drones, both professionally and just for fun. The drone pilots, for example, the professional guys will use it for geomapping, as well as things like poaching. A friend of ours actually uses a drone for counting stock in big factories. And a lot of the full-scale pilots also play with the model airplanes on weekends, and when it's not their job, it's actually for fun as opposed to work. So there's various applications on a business front as well as the pure entertainment side of it. Teaching the kids how to make aeroplanes teaches them to use their hands, which a lot of our kids don't do these days. They don't know how to use a scalpel blade, they don't know how to use glue, they don't know how to follow a plan. So a lot of what Rodney does, for example, is to teach them how to build. The normal flying, you require a radio, a transmitter. Inside the aeroplane there's a receiver, and the receiver will take the signal of what you're telling your radio to do, in other words, whether you're pulling up, pushing down, left or right, and send that through to the aeroplane, and the control surfaces of the aeroplane will then respond, and that's basically how you control them. The pilots, in terms of adults, is probably around 20. It varies weekend to weekend as to who's available and who can fly. Juniors and kids are about maybe even 10 now, on a reasonably regular level. Competitively, we've had two of the children who lived in the Coves represent the country as juniors at the Hand-Launched Glider World Championships. So that would be the little ones at the back there, the one that's got the butterfly pattern. And they were relatively new. It was their first World Championship. In terms of the juniors as a country, we have won 2 of the World Championship junior events. In terms of female pilots, there's not a lot in the world. There's probably maybe 10 girls who fly. I've been to a whole bunch of World Championships and represented various classes, and that's one thing we would like to encourage, is girls to start flying, because there's no real reason why they can't fly as well as the men. It's just not a field that most of them are necessarily interested in. So yeah, we'll hope that we get a few more girl pilots.
The Coves, naturally perfect.